Imagine if you spent 3 decades of your life hunched over like this, because this is what the average person is on course to being like. The average person spends almost a third of their day on their phone or laptop. And I actually couldn't believe that statistic when I saw it. I was like, surely not. But then when I looked at my own screen time, something that I don't really look at, I was like, guess we're all zombies these days. Imagine spending a third of your day, a third of your life on your phone. If you live up to 90, that's 30 years. Now, this isn't meant to come across as some boomer advice, like using your phone is 100% bad, because sure, there's lots of good things. I use my phone to take notes, listen to music, etc. It's not so much about cutting down screen time, but it's more so about cutting down unproductive screen time. Even let's say for 90% of the time I'm on my phone doing productive things, there's still that last 10% that's, Clash Clans. So if you just cut out that last 10% of screen time, 10% of 30 years, it's still 3 years of your life that you will save. That's over 20,000 hours. And you know how people say you only need 10,000 to master a skill? With that time, you can be a world expert at anything you choose. So this video is going to be a no BS way to help you reclaim those 3 lost years back, and maybe more. Now, every video on how to stop phone addiction just gives you the same quick and easy tactics, which they definitely do help a bit, but for the most part, they're just band-aid solutions. So if you want to save time and not watch these hundreds of videos, I've summarized the main actionable steps, which you can pause and read right now. But I want to focus on actual solutions. So I looked at myself and thought, okay, why do I even want a phone in the first place? Oh yeah, it's to talk to friends, connect with people. Sounds harmless, right? But for me, and maybe you can relate to this, I'll be just working, minding my own business, typing away, and then out of nowhere, just without even realizing it, I'll just check my phone like every 5 minutes, just waiting for my friends to respond. So I think the bigger issue here is FOMO, fear of missing out. And this is why even when we work, hang out with friends, etc., we keep our phones next to us. Even though it makes us not present, ruins our productivity, makes us look like zombies, that is the price we pay. And this was me for the longest time, until a friend pointed out for me that the reality is that for the few hours that you're studying or doing any work, there's going to be no urgent reason for you to even check your phone. There's nothing interesting happening in the group chat, the girl you like still hasn't texted you back, and there's going to be no genuine emergency. And this is the mindset I've been trying to develop over the years. And there's always going to be someone that's going to say, but there might be a 0.1% chance that there's going to be emergency, but it's just cope. It's just cope trying to justify the 10-hour screen time. And I get it. I used to have this belief as well, that I was somehow missing out by not checking my phone every 3 seconds. But the reality is that this belief is not true. It's just a belief that we've implanted into our brains. And it's a belief we have to destroy if we want to be not so reliant on our phones. The second belief, but more so a habit, was that I used to always have my phone as an escape. For example, back when I was in high school, I used to take the train to school. That was a 1-hour train ride, so very long. And sometimes in social situations when I don't want to talk to anyone. But these are times where people may just go on their phones to escape the situation and dissociate themselves. And one time I was on the way to school, so I was sitting on the train and I was super bored trying to find something to do. And I literally found myself scrolling through the weather app. It was at that moment where I was like, what am I doing with my life? The weather isn't that interesting, by the way. I realized that I just had to be okay with confronting whatever task I had to do, whether that's boredom or some awkward situation. I just had to be genuinely okay with that, because otherwise you just train yourself to have muscle memory to always reach for your phone whenever you're bored. And this is why sometimes when I'll be studying or working, as I mentioned before, I'll literally just reach for my phone without even realizing it. So know that scrolling is only a temporary escape from reality. It's like drinking salty water. It may quench your thirst at first, but it ends up slowly draining you from the inside. To combat this, just be okay with the boredom and sometimes awkwardness. And finally, let me ask you a genuine question. Are you using your phone, or is your phone using you? You can't let a few pieces of plastic and glass control your life. It's not even alive, bro. And still, it's making us not be able to focus, having a cooked sleep schedule, can't be present in social situations. All these things can happen when we have unproductive screen time. And this isn't meant to be easy, of course. I'm not trying to say that. But would you say it's worth the 3 years that you free up? The year's almost over, so when you look back, are you gonna say, oh man, I really wish I spent more time playing Clash of Clans? Or would you actually hope to spend that on something meaningful in your life? So if you're one out of the 10,000 people that actually follows this video, congrats, you just saved 3 years or more of your life.